Hello guys and welcome to my chapter review of chapter 251 of Tokyo Revengers. And the title for chapter 251 is, Get Out of Hand. There was also a color page that was released with all the official colors of the Kanto Manji gang members. On the first page of this chapter we see Anupi, and Anupi is still fighting against both Wakassa and Benkei at the same time. Anupi's face looks very beaten up and Anupi looks exhausted. Coco is standing behind Wakassa and Benkei and Coco is just watching the fight. Coco says, "You are trying to take on those two legends? You are on your own, you know." And Anupi just responds by telling Coco to shut up. In the next page Anupi punches Benkei in the face with his right fist. And then in the next panel Anupi punches Wakassa with a punch from his right fist. And while he is punching them Anupi says, "Benkei and Wakassa are pissing me off." Anupi says, "What is with Brahman? And what is with Kanto Manji gang? Would Shinichiro have wanted all of this? No matter what, deep inside you guys are the first generation of Black Dragon." And while Anupi is talking about Shinichiro, the looks on the faces of Wakassa and Benkei look very guilty, and from the expression on their faces they do not look happy at all. And I think that the reason that Wakassa and Benkei look so guilty in this panel is because they know that what Anupi is saying about Shinichiro is right. We know that Wakassa and Benkei both cared a lot for Shinichiro, and they both loved Shinichiro very much. And we also know that Wakassa and Benkei are the ones who raised Senju since she was a child, and they are also the ones who taught Senju how to fight. So when Wakassa and Benkei see the condition that Senju is in, and when they see what the Kanto Manji gang did to Senju, I do not think that they will want to fight for the Kanto Manji gang anymore. In my chapter review for chapter 244, I had a theory that Wakassa and Benkei are actually just spying for the Tokyo Manji gang's second generation. In almost every single arc of Tokyo Revengers we have seen a character become a spy. For example, Baji became a spy in Valhalla gang. And also Sanzu became a spy in Tenjuku gang. So this is why it could be a possibility that Wakassa and Benkei are doing the same as Baji and Sanzu, especially because I do not see any reason why Benkei and Wakassa would want to join the Kanto Manji gang. Anyway guys, back to the chapter which focuses on Anupi, who is still talking to Wakassa and Benkei. Anupi says, "Deep inside, I am also a first-gen Black Dragon, and I always have been. And with that in mind, I put all of my trust in Hanagaki Takemichi. Because the second gen of Tokyo Manji gang and the first gen Black Dragon both share the same spirit." And in the next page Anupi says, "That is why I will never lose to the Kanto Manji gang." And on to the next page which focuses on Coco, and Coco is thinking to himself. In his head Coco says, "What should I do? Back when we were kids this would be where I come in to save him, but now that would just be a selfish act. There is no turning back after this." Next the chapter switches to Mikey. And Mikey is still just standing on top of the cargo container, and Mikey is watching the battle, and we also see that someone is standing behind Mikey. Mikey says, "It seems like the battle is getting to a certain point." And in the next page it is revealed that the person who is standing behind Mikey is Shuji Hanma. Mikey turns around to talk to Hanma, and while tilting his head to the left side Mikey says, "I will leave this to you then, Hanma." And then Shuji Hanma pulls down his mask to reveal his face, and Hanma says, "Okay boss." And while he is saying this Hanma is smiling. Mitsuya, Hakai, Akane and Chifuyu are all standing together, and they are all beaten up from their fights. And Hanma obediently follows Mikey's orders and approaches the Toman members. Hanma says, "Yo, the survivors of death. Play with me too." And while he says this Hanma takes off his mask and smiles at his opponents, and Hanma looks like he is happy to finally get to fight again. And so guys, in this panel where Hanma calls them the survivors of death, in this panel Hanma is not referring to them beating the Hitani brothers, Mochizuku, or Madarame. Hanma is really talking about those who were destined to die in the original timeline, but managed to have survived death. And this is just a theory I saw on Twitter, but this line would be really interesting if this is what Hanma is referring to, and I wanted to share the theory with you guys. Anyway guys, next the chapter switches back to Anupi, who is being beaten up by Wakassa and Benkei, and Anupi is very tired. First Benkei punches Anupi in the face with a left hook. And then Wakassa kicks Anupi in the stomach with his left leg. Anupi says, "Crap." Coco is very worried about Anupi and Coco calls out to Anupi. Anupi asks Coco what he is doing. Anupi says, "Coco, help me out here. You are my one true friend, right?" And Coco is confused as to why Anupi is asking him for help even though they are on opposite sides. But then Coco remembers Akane and the words that she spoke to him. Akane said, "That's enough, it is time for you to live your life the way you want to." "Thank you, Coco." Coco says, "I see, I have been stubborn." In the next page Benkei starts charging at Anupi and trying to punch him. Benkei tells Anupi that it is over, and Anupi looks like he is worried. Anupi says, "Damn." And in the next page Coco suddenly comes in and Coco punches Benkei in the face with a powerful punch from his left fist, and Coco has a very angry expression on his face while he is punching Benkei. And on the next page, we see that this punch from Coco was so strong that it knocked Benkei to the floor. And Anupi is very happy that Coco decided to betray the Kanto Manji gang in order to help him. Anupi says, "Coco." And while he is saying this Anupi is smiling. And in the next panel Coco turns around to talk to Anupi. Coco says, "What an annoying guy." And on the next page the chapter switches back to Mikey, who is still sitting down on the cargo container, and Mikey is being confronted by Pa Chin, and Pa Chin is also talking to Mikey. Pa Chin says, "Are you having fun watching everything from above, Mikey?" And then Mikey turns to his right to look at Pa Chin, and Mikey says, "Oh, so it is you." Pa Chin has a lot of sweat drops on his face, and his eyebrows look like they got shaved off. And Pa Chin says, "I will be the one who will send you to your end, Mikey." And Mikey does not say anything after that. Mikey just stands up and stares down Pa Chin. And we see the official title from the editor that says Pa Chin will be fighting against Manjiro Sano. And in the bottom left of this panel there is a note from the narrator that says, "Coco is now an ally." And now facing Mikey is his former friend. And so you guys, in case you missed my last video, I want to talk about a piece of dialogue that I think is foreshadowing for what will happen to Coco. In chapter 196, during the Bonten arc, while Sanzu was executing some traitors to Bonten gang, Coco said so himself that even between the executives who betray Bonten will eventually become scraps too. And we know that the Kanto Manji gang is basically Bonten in the future, because Kanto Manji gang evolves into Bonten. Also we know that Bonten gang and Kanto Manji gang are two gangs that are almost identical, so I would not be surprised if they both will deal with traitors in the same way. Sanzu even killed Yasuhiro Muto for being a traitor, so this shows how members of Kanto Manji gang like to deal with traitors. And I hope that Pa Chin has been getting stronger while he was in jail, because Mikey is by far the strongest character and Mikey could easily defeat Pa Chin with a single kick, so I don't think it was a very good idea for Pa to challenge Mikey and to tell Mikey that he will be the one to put him down, because currently Mikey does not care about showing mercy. He even mercilessly broke the arm of Takemichi in the last arc and easily killed Toronto South, so I am thinking maybe Mikey will beat up Pa Chin so badly that Pei Yen will have to beg Mikey to let him live. Anyway guys, that was it for the chapter review of chapter 251 of Tokyo Revengers. Also let me know what you guys think of the chapter in the comments below. And like, comment and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one, and thank you for watching.